Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. First, we want to thank God for being alive another day. It is cold outside. God has surprised me because normally around this time, April, we are at a steady 70, 75 here in Charlotte. So yeah, he has surprised me with this one, and I am freezing. I got to put on a coat today. I am not playing because it is cold outside. I was out there yesterday, and I was like, what is this, my little fingers? Y'all know I have anemia. Been anemic for a long time, many, many years. And it has gotten better, because I've learned to eat foods with iron. And I'm taking iron vitamins now. But I was out there, my poor little fingers, they start crinkling up. Like, when you get in water and they crinkle up. Well, that's what my fingers do when it's cold. And, it was the worst, y'all. Oh, my God. However, I made it through, and I said, okay, I'm going to dress for the weather, okay, because it's cold out there. So God is surprising us right now with this cold. We had this rain come through for like 3 days, and the aftermath was it got cold, So now this is what we got to deal with, It may be good because it could get rid of some of these germs, some of this pollen out here, to help me out. Because I did recognize yesterday I felt a lot better with it being colder, even though I was frozen. I was cold out there. So he unfroze the pollen. I guess he's going to put it on a delay for a little while, and that works for me, However, I know it's still coming, and I'm going to have to deal with some of it. It just won't be as long. So I'm kind of thankful, actually, Today, well, let's check the weather first. Alexa, what's the weather today here in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, there's a freeze warning in effect Saturday, April 3rd from 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. The current weather is 37 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast calls for more of the same, with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 33 degrees.
Yeah, it's time to put back on the coats, y'all, and the boots. He got us confused right now. But it's okay. I got what I need. I got me some gloves, too. Matter of fact, I just saw them. I packed them away in a tote, but I'm going to pull them right back out. Yeah, I have to because it's just cold out there. Had to put on the heat in the house. I'm like, oh, geez, this is different. But anyway, I wanted to talk to y'all today. Well, first, I wanted to let y'all know, for those that are Miss JJ Entertainment supporters and fans, Nate Heights just dropped a new album. So you can pull that up on YouTube, Apple Music, and Pandora, and the rest of those platforms. I don't know how to say it. Mariah, I believe it's Marrera. I'm not sure. I will get that information from him today. I haven't spoken to him physically. I've spoken to him via text, and you can't get pronunciations until you physically speak to a person. So I will talk to him today and get the actual name of the album. However, it is on Apple, so y'all can pull that up. My song that I like on the album is Ouroboros. And the reason why I like Ouroboros is because every day we are around a bunch of snakes, and you have to be able to identify these people, and identify the things that they do and learn how to cut them off, and they'll try to pull you down, until you're no longer nothing, so they can continue to live. That's what they would do. So you got to watch out for those type of people. And they're out here everywhere. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Ouroboros today. Now, the Ouroboros is actually the symbol for infinity, for those that don't know. I wanted to speak on this because I need y'all to know these things. Y'all need to know what y'all represent when y'all doing stuff or when y'all buying stuff, and what these different symbols and signs represent. You need to know, when you're getting tattoos, you may say, oh, that looks nice. I like that. Let me get that symbol, on tattoo, but do you know what it means? Okay, so anyway, with that being said, a lot of people believe in infinity, meaning they will never die. That's what they believe, However, they would do everything possible to try not to. But what they normally do is bite their own tail, And that's how the infinity symbol is made, where it shows how they bite their own tail to try to make it go, infinity, to make it go, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay? But they don't realize that they can be frozen. Okay? And that's through God. Okay? I want to talk about this a little bit. The reason why I want to talk about this is because y'all know I'm restudying the Bible. Something that haven't done in a while, and I have to redo it because, things come up and, you forget what verse it may be that you read it. And, and the thing about it too is, when I learned the Bible, I learned it at a young age. And as you go through life, you see things differently. Okay. So when you reread something, even though you read it before, you get a little bit more clarification to what you have read, and understand why it was designed that way, So that's why I want to talk about this, because it was actually, when I was listening to Ouroboros, by Nate Heights, I felt every word, because I'm around a lot of them, and it's crazy, and then the thing is, they want you to do things that they want you to be a part of them, and you can't because they're not genuine and they bite their own tails. So how can I be like you? And then they wonder why you cut them off or you pull back, and you say to yourself, like, I can't do this with you because you don't see the reality of the way of God's way. I'm going to use in the book of Genesis. Okay. Now we talk about, you hear different stories about Adam and Eve and the trees. When he told Adam, this tree over here, I don't want you to eat of, all these years, a lot of people have been believing that the tree was sexual activity. Some believe that the serpent actually had sexual activity with Eve. Some believe that Adam and Eve had sexual activity. Everybody has their theory of what the book of Genesis says. Now, me rereading the book of Genesis, I'm still reading the book of Genesis, actually, but rereading Adam, beginning story of the book of Genesis tells me, after I've been through life, that there was actually a tree of good and evil. Okay? And now the reason why I look at this differently is because I've studied different religions. Okay? And in different religions, you're going to get a different outcome. Okay? On things. Now, this is just my theory. Everybody has their own theory. I'm not going to knock nobody else's theory on how they think about things. But me going through life, me learning different religions, being around different religions, I seen it differently. Okay? Now, when God, put Adam, out there and Eve, and he said, okay, y'all can eat from any of these trees, but that one. Because then you're going to know. He didn't tell them that they were going to know the difference between evil and good. Okay? However, the serpent came around and said, well, why is it you can't eat from that tree? Okay? Eve, the helper of Adam, decided to say, hey, well, why can't we? I'm going to get me some. She got some, and then she gave it to her husband. And he ate it because she's the helper. He's supposed to trust her, And God knew that they ate from the tree because they was ashamed. Okay? See, that tree was designed to show them bad just as good. As good. See, at the beginning, they had no feelings whatsoever. They walked around nude. They just walked in the forest because they knew nothing else. But what God told them was, y'all eat, y'all take care of the land, and that's all y'all do. But once they ate from that tree, they knew the difference. Okay? They knew the difference between good and evil. They knew the difference between being naked and being clothed. Okay? And when God came around, they went and put leaves on their bodies to cover up their body parts because they felt ashamed. Okay? And this is what God didn't want them to do, but they did it. Okay? So then God asked Adam, he said, Adam, you've eaten from the tree. So Adam was honest. He was like, yeah, well, she gave it to me. He's a rat. Adam, he's a mess. I love the Bible stories, y'all. That's why I tell y'all should read the Bible. I know that y'all look at the Bible, oh, God, this is about God. I don't want to read this, y'all scared and everything. But let me tell you something. There's some good stories up in this book, okay? And it will put you on point to what really be going on in life, okay? So I'm trying to tell y'all, the reality of it is to pick up the book and read it because you're going to learn some things. You're going to be like, ooh, wow, this person was a doozy, And you'll know who is who when you're stepping out in the world, okay? I keep telling y'all this is a structured book of the life with these stories. It's like we write books to give y'all insight on things that might have went on in our lives to help other people. Well, this book does. And it's got a lot of stories about a lot of people. And we can recognize with some of these stories. Okay? So this is why y'all need to pick that book up and read it. Now, moving on. God went to Eve and said, Eve, why you ate from there? He said, no, he asked her. He didn't ask her why she eat from there. He asked her if she ate from there. Okay, so he wanted to catch her in a lie. Okay. And he said, did you eat from the tree? And she said, yes. She was honest. She was like, yeah, I ate from the tree. And he said, okay. Well, I'm going to curse you. Because not only did you eat from the tree, you gave it to your husband. And he ate it too. Now y'all like us. Gods. Because y'all know the difference between good and evil. Okay? So you see what the serpent messed up at? The serpent messed up because he told her to eat from the tree, not knowing what was going to really happen. Or he probably could have known what was going to happen. But then God actually looked at them as being gods. Okay? I know y'all hearing some of the religions when they be like, we're gods, within. That's where it comes from. Okay? And this is why, and I'm going to go back to the Ouroboros in a minute. This is why in the book of Revelations, the religions are going to be destroyed. Because instead of it being just one religion, they have taken bits and pieces out of the regular Bible and created all these different religions. Okay? And so that was my curiosity, and that's why I went back to the Bible, even though I had to teach my daughter, and it's my job as a parent to make sure that my daughter has the knowledge about God. And yeah, people, it's the parent's responsibility, okay, that your child knows about God before you send them off into the real world. Okay? It's so sad how some of these kids grow up and they know nothing about God. They've never even stepped into a church. They don't even know how to pray, and religion has been here for eons, okay? But soon it will expire and we will all become one because we have too many devils, okay? So that's why we have to become one. And this is why you need to read the Bible so you can understand each and every religion, okay? In order to become a Muslim, for instance, you have to read the Bible first in order to understand the Quran, okay? That's the way they do things. So, don't be misled by what people teach you in church, what people, people gonna always have their own perception of what they see. Don't be misled because they pick and choose different Bible verses. I suggest reading the book from the beginning to the end. Okay, and it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a year. But if you dedicate yourself, just like people dedicate themselves every day to get up and wash up, eat, work out, you can dedicate yourself to a half an hour to an hour, reading this Bible. So you can understand what's really going on. Okay, now when I look at this, and I say the serpent, he tried to coerce her, which he did. Because she was pretty much stupid. You know what I mean? In actuality, she didn't know nothing. So he coerced her, And that's what they be thinking, these Ouroboros, is they be thinking that, people are stupid. So they come at you, but if you're a God-loving person, and you know the Bible, you know how to pretty much get rid of them. Anything that they conjure up, because they think they can keep on going and going and going because they represent the infinity sign, and you have to, most of the time you don't even have to figure out a way how to stop them because they'll stop themselves, okay? They'll stop themselves by the things that they do. You just have to wait and be patient, You just have to wait and be patient. And then you'll figure out eventually how to freeze them. And that's just the way it works because their theory is, I'm going to keep living whether you like it or not. I don't care if I have to hurt you. I'm going to do what I need to do to be on top. Okay? So you have to watch out for those type of people. And they come daily. Sometimes you live in the same household with them. And you'll say to yourself, why are you this way? We all one. And then that's when you have to come eventually, because they be feeling like they can take your mind, take your soul. And you're looking at them like, are you stupid? Who do you think I am? You're idiot? So you have to sometimes sit back and laugh at them, because they would do things because not knowing. Just like that serpent in the book, in the Bible. He didn't know what the tree did either. But he wanted Eve to eat it first so he could see. You bite of that tree. See what happens. But he put his foot in his mouth. Well, his tail in his mouth. Because pretty much Adam and Eve became gods. So it was a gift and a curse. But the serpent didn't know that. When he should have tried it himself. You get where I'm going? They always try to mislead someone else to doing something, or create something so they can see what happens. This is what they do. But then you got to put them at a halt and let them know, look, I'm my own person. This is what I do. This is going to make me happy. Let me tell y'all something. I'll tell y'all about this. Few people did this to me. Now, y'all know, for those that know me, have known me for years, 30, 40 years, know, straight out of school, I became a home health aide, then turned into a CNA, straight out of high school, okay? I did that job for 10 years. Don't you know, here it is, 30 years later, and people consistently kept trying to force me into that lifestyle again, when I've been there, done that. And it wasn't only one. Okay? And then I laugh at myself. I laugh at them. And I said, this is not what God has designed for me. God took me out of that a long time ago. So who are y'all to try to force me to go back in? And I did. And guess what? Every time I did, God found a way to pull me right back out of it. Because that's not what he wanted me. And see, this is the things that they don't understand. When God is working on something, you can't force it. Okay? I told y'all, I had to go. Here you go. Alexa, dismiss.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, thank you. Dismiss.
You're welcome. This is a reminder. Eat.
Oh. Alexa, thank you. Dismiss.
Anytime.
Okay, y'all, it's time for me to
This
eat.
is a reminder.
And drink water.
Eat.
Alexa, thank you. Dismiss.
Of course. This is a reminder. Eat.
Alexa, I'm going to eat.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
But I am. She doesn't believe me, y'all.
Reminder. Eat.
Because, I have this thing, where I'll go working. Because I'm always hungry. You know what I mean? When I say hungry, meaning... And
This is a reminder. Eat.
Alexa, dismiss, quiet. I had to scream at her. I hate screaming at her because sometimes she can be so nice and useful. She's a computer, but she can, And, I be, people be wanting me to fall back sometimes. They be like, oh, you need to fall back. You work too much, or you do this too much, because they know the more I work, the more money I'm going to make, And especially them people that snakes. They don't want to see you getting that money. You know what I mean? They want to see you at the bottom of the barrel, and you looking at them like, okay, well, this is what I'm used to. I'm used to going out here and getting this money, and I'm hungry, The reason why I'm hungry is because I got so many people to take care of. Well, you may not have all them people to take care of, so you don't understand. Because you don't live in my shoes. You never took care of anything. So you don't know what it's like to have to drop hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to give to other family members. You don't know what it's like. So I have to keep on working until God free me of that. Until God say, here's enough money for you to sit down. And then he probably still going to find something else for me to do. But anyway, I'll be working so much and I don't eat. I'll be feeling like I'm fasting, But it's not good for me because I'm getting older. I used to fast a lot when I was young. And it really doesn't work for me anymore. It actually makes me sick. So I have to make sure I eat. And Alexa, I made her say it to me every single day so I can eat. And she don't be believing me because she told me one day and I got up out of here and didn't eat and went outside and didn't eat no food. And I'm like, oh, God, I ain't eat all day. Just running. And I always have to remember to take time out for me to eat, But I be hungry for getting out there to getting that money, because we got to survive. That's just the way it is, People think that this little bit of money that the government give you, actually does something. How? When half the time they gave us $1,400, that's some people's rent for 1 month. So how do you dare survive? You know what I mean? And I get it. Some people are happy to get it because they can pay a couple of bills, but then for some, it's no money. It's a little bit of money. So I'm steady running, and it's not good for me, But getting back to this Ouroboros, y'all just have to watch out for these type of people. Now I want you to look it up, read about it. Y'all know I always tell y'all to do your own research, But my biggest thing is I want y'all to pick up that Bible. Y'all need to pick up the Bible and read. Okay, so y'all can understand. This other thing I wanted to bring to play. Rereading the Bible has been an asset to me. I've learned so much more since I read it the first time. Now, I didn't pick up on God created grass first. That's in the Bible. The second thing he created was herbs. It's the medicines. And the third thing he created was the fruit. Okay, when he was doing, his creations, and we constantly tell you guys, that now anybody that has dogs, your dog feeling sick, what they do, they go outside and they eat the grass, and then sometimes they throw up or they just get better, and then the herbs. I constantly tell you guys to eat herbs. You know what herbs are? Seasoning to our foods. Teas that we drink. These are the things that God has designed us to eat. And he didn't want us to eat meat. He didn't even want us eating fish. He just wanted us. Well, he never did say that we're not supposed to eat the fish, but it was said that the trees, the herbs, those were our foods. And that's where vegan coming at. Okay? So for those that don't understand why everybody's running around and they're vegans, it's because that's the way it was designed to be. Okay? It's not that it's a new trend. It's in the Bible. Okay? This is why y'all need to read the book. Okay? Because then you will understand these things that y'all call trends. Okay? When it's not a trend, it's been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay? And y'all will understand these things. And then you have people like myself, Nate Heights, and there's a couple of other artists out here that bring these things to light to you guys. So y'all can do your research and understand why, these things were formulated. Why God formulated it this way. Okay? And I'm about to read my favorite story coming up today. It starts, y'all know, I always talk about Noah. And we're going to be rereading that today. So I can't wait because that's one of my favorite stories. I didn't know some things. I missed some things that I'm trying to tell y'all. As a child, you might have read the Bible, you read these scriptures, but there's things that you miss. Just like when you watch a movie. You watch a movie first time, and then you watch it the second time. I even see people on Facebook, they do it. And they'll, video it and say, did y'all ever pay attention to this before? And then you be like, oh, I didn't see that. You always see things differently the second, third, fourth time. Your mind is more open because you've seen everything around it. Okay? And that's the thing about opening up your third eye. Okay? And that's why we tell people, meditate. The brain holds so much. Okay? that sometimes we miss stuff that can be right in front of us. Okay, you ever been looking for something, and you know that saying, if it was any closer, it would have bit me, because it was right there in front of you. But that's a true saying, because we sometimes crowd our brains so much to where something could be right there in front of us and we don't see it. That's when you know it's time to release some of that energy, so your third eye can reopen itself. Okay, a lot of people are afraid of the third eye, and you shouldn't be, because it's a part of you. Okay, and if your mind is too crowded, you can't think, and we have to be able to think, and we have to be able to think swiftly. Okay? So, this is why we tell y'all, meditate, pray, clear yourself of all that negativity in your mind. The negative, and sometimes even some good, we have to release that as well. Because we just want to clear our minds so we can open it up to new stuff. But if you keep holding on to that stuff that's already in there, you don't have no space for nothing else, to see anything else. Okay? And that's a part of change. You know, when they talk about change, you know, how do I elevate? Show me how. You know, and this is why we show y'all as much as we possibly can. You know, when we take pictures, meditating, we teach y'all about the Bible, you know, and that's another song that's on Nate Heights. He has a song on his album called Show Me How. You know, and some people want to know how, because they can't get it. They just don't get it. Like, how do I do this? So they got to be shown, you know? And then you got some people that do get it. And this is why we lead by example. Because some people will get it if they see you. You understand? So this is why we do these things. To help, you know, others. Being able to identify the things that's going on around you is a wonderful gift that God has given us. Okay? But God also gives you a choice. Okay? Just like he told Adam and Eve. Okay, now y'all know evil from bad. So now y'all like gods. So let's see what y'all do. And see the decisions that y'all make. It's your world, your choice. But I'm going to always be here to be the last one that you have to answer when something doesn't go right. I'm going to want to know why you made this choice. Okay? And the reason why I bring that up is because God had to step to Cain on what happened with him and his brother. Okay? Why is your brother calling me from the ground? Well, what have you done? Now, you're supposed to be a God, so you're supposed to be handling things the right way. But something went wrong. So tell me what it is. What did you do? Now, for those who don't know who Cain and Abel is, that's Adam and Eve's son. Their first two borns. Eve had 18 girls and 10 boys. So she had a lot of kids because God told her, after you are messed up. So now I want y'all to be fruitful. Be fruitful and make family. And I want to see what y'all do. Let's see how y'all guide your kids. But later on, he realized that it was just too much going on. And that's when Noah comes into play. I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk to y'all about that tomorrow. Because I'm going to be reading that today. So God realized that he made mistakes as well, because he didn't pinpoint everything, because he didn't realize that there was going to be devils or serpents out here. When he created these things. And it actually talks about like the little creatures that like mice, rats, snakes. It actually tells you in the Bible that he created these things. And you say to yourself, like, why? Because everybody dislikes rats and mice and snakes. But not everybody. Some people love snakes. I used to like them until I realized what they represented. I had loved the way they eat, how they digest their food, the way they move. I used to love watching. We had, for those that don't know, I had a ball python. I had bought it for my son when he was young. And he was young. He didn't even know. But, I bought him this pet, and we took care of this pet. But when I realized how smart this pet was, I had to get rid of that pet. That pet was too smart for me. It was just like different. It was, they just different. Okay. But I understand why now. You try things you don't know. The best teacher is to go through something. I tell people that all the time. The best teacher is when you're going through it physically. And like I said, I watched the snake and I said, this thing is too smart for me. It's just too smart for me. It knows what it's supposed to do. The strength of it, an animal that's, you barely see any muscles or anything in it, but it has muscles, but this thing is just too strong. It's just, the way it moves is, I couldn't live in the same house with it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it, so I had to get rid of it. But as I grow, and I know people the same, the way it moves. And you watch people and you say to yourself, you one of them serpents. And they will, let me tell you something, they will mask themselves. They will mask themselves. I mean, you would think that they are good people. In actuality, their souls are evil. Okay, so you got to watch out for those type of people. You want to be around good people. You want to be around loving people. You don't want to be around misleading people. People that's doing scams and people that's doing wrongdoings. You don't want to be around that. If you see it, get away from it. Like when I first got to Charlotte, I met this girl. Of course, I'm not going to speak no names, because I don't put people out there like that. I met this girl. She was into all of these scams, and I'm like, and I knew what happened was I was looking for a job, and I had saw at the market, and I told her, I said, I'm looking for a job. I'm trying to, I told you I used to take people around when I first got here because I didn't have no money. I tried applying for food stamps. They took 45 days. My kids was hungry. I was hungry. I had lost more weight than I had already. I was already small. Then I turned around and lost more weight being here. Then they want to talk about me. You skinny. You skinny. Well, y'all made me skinny. But anyway, long story short, so I would pretty much hustle, taking people around just to get $1, not $1, but, some money to feed my kids. So I would go to the market and, budget it out to try to make maybe sometime 2 meals out of what I had. And I just was like, one day I was just sitting there rubbing my head. And she said, hey, how you doing? She said, I seen you in the neighborhood. So you just moved in the neighborhood? And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, I'm just stressing a little bit. I said, because I need a job, And, I mean, like I said, I didn't want for anything because God made sure he opened those doors so I can still eat, by allowing me, I had something that other people didn't have. And that was a working vehicle, and I was able to take people where they needed to go. And that actually put income in my pocket so I can feed my kids. So I didn't want for nothing. It's just that I knew that a job would be better because I know I could go out and make the money, and it was there. You know what I mean? So I felt uneasy. You know, I was feeling like this is not right. So long story short, this particular person said to me, "Oh, I got a way you can make some money. I got a job for you." And I looked at her. And I said, "Okay, well, what type of job?" And she started telling me about all of this scamming mess. And I just looked at her. I said, "Well, who do you think I am?" And see, these are the things that these serpents will do. Okay? They'll try to coerce you into doing bad because they know that you at your bottom. And you looking at them like, really? And this is when you got to continue to have faith. So I just kept looking at her. And then, some of my other people that was around me was like, "Why you won't deal with this girl?" And I kept saying, I would say, I just don't like her. I would never tell them that I thought she was a devil. And I wouldn't say that. And I just looked. And she always tried to do, she was able to get everybody else, but she just couldn't get me. And she would try everything in the book to try to get me. Okay? To fall victim to her negativity. And I would just look at her. Like, I ain't messing with you. Do what with you? Do what for you? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I can't. And it just be their way. That's just their way. And they think that they, some of them may not even know that they're doing it. So you got to let them know. And see if they change. Because if they don't change, you know that that's who they are. And that's their character. And at that point, we must freeze them. Cut them off. Not deal with them. Because now I know the real you. You're nothing but a snake. And then you hear people talking about, that person is a snake. Because that they've been watching the way they move, the way they act, the things that they do. So y'all got to pay attention to these things, God has given us the rights to know good and bad. And this is why Jesus Christ, and y'all know, this Sunday is Easter. Today is Friday, which represents Jesus Christ. And he died for us because he knew that being that we know good and bad, we're going to continue to do bad. And some people are born into bad and don't know nothing but bad and don't even want to learn good. Okay? Now, when you read the Bible has good and bad in it. It identifies good and bad. And this is why we say, it's your world, your choice. I got a song called Your World, Your Choices. It's your world, your choice. God allows you to be your own man and woman. And you make the decision. Now, he gave you all the stories of the outcomes of the things that the bad people have done. You make your choice. It's on you now. Some people think that, just praying is good, but if God has given you the ability to make change, then make it. And he's going to be behind you 100% if he feels that it is the right thing to do. It doesn't mean that you're not... No. How would I say? They got this song, or is it a song or TikTok, where they say, "Oh, this person is doing too much." And then the other person said, They said, you're not doing enough. You're not going to go to bed and just wake up with everything that you prayed for. You have things that you have to do. Okay? You know, God has requirements too. For those that don't know. You know, somebody had told me one day, it tripped me out. When they told me this. And this person was dedicated to going to church, y'all. They told me this. Said, I said, oh, yeah, my daughter has to serve. And she said, no, she doesn't. She doesn't have to serve. What do you mean she doesn't have to serve? We're godly people. We serve. This is what God asks of us, to serve. Be kind to people, help people, give tithes. When you give tithes, you don't always have to give tithes to the church. You give it to the streets. He just wants you to give away that 10%. And to return blessings. You know, people always think you got to give it to the church, and then they get mad when the pastor's living so great. Okay? And, well, why is he living like this and I'm so poor? Well, because y'all gave him all the monies. You're supposed to spread it around. That's the way it works. So God has requirements too. But you got to get up and do something about it. You know, you can't just sit back and think, okay, because you paid tithes, that your blessings is just going to come. You paid tithes. Now, what is it that you want? You have to make moves in that direction. You can't stand still because you're not going to move. Some people literally think that the blessings is just going to come to them. You have to go through the doors. You have to walk the journey in order to make the testimony. Okay? You can't just sit back and say, I was laying down and guess what happened? Someone knocked on the door, and it doesn't work that way. And those that believe that, Now, I watch these little stories, Darman. I don't know if y'all watch Darman, but he makes a lot of stories where he shows how, you know, blessings can be returned. But you never see the people just sitting and waiting. They put work in first. And when it didn't show up, you did your part. And then here come God. But God wants you to at least try first. That's the way it works, you know. And the thing is, you know, people always calling me crazy, but I guess it's a lot of us out here. Millions and millions of us. That's just as crazy as me. Because they have the same theory. So don't get mad with me because I truly believe in God. And I go out there and I make things happen. And then he takes it from there. He said, okay, she did her part. Now it's my turn. Let me open up the universe for her. And you know, let things work. You know, and God has me set in a certain cycle right now. You know, I'm talking about myself. You know, I tell y'all, you know, I went from being, hoping to be an athlete. Okay? I just want y'all to hear me. Hoping to be an athlete. I went to school. I chose a school. Even though science was the best thing that could ever happen to me. You know, my family was strong about me going to college. They was on my back. Okay? And this is something that that I have to be honest with. They was on my back about this thing, about going to college, being the scientist, and, you know, but I wanted to be an athlete. Okay? So it was my choice. You know, I chose to go to a school for athletes. when I say later on, I should have went for the science. Okay. Then I went to college. Okay. I worked for a while because, I had a baby young, so I had to work too. And God opened doors for me, while I was in school and said, okay, well, she needs more money. I'm going to send her to work over here at the post office. Back when I was coming up, working at the post office was like you at the top of the line of money. You know what I mean? Because that's federal. He opened all these doors for me, but it just wasn't working for me. I was still in school, and I think I told y'all this story. I was in my class, in science class, and my teacher wanted me to write that the creation of Earth was scientifically made, evolved, And I'm a true believer in God, so I was like, I can't write that. You're not going to make me write something that I don't believe in. You're not going to do that to me. I told him, I said, you're not going to do that to me. I don't care what you say. You slander me. You fail me. I don't care. I'm not going to lie to myself on paper. I'm not doing it. Well, of course, he failed me for taking up for God. And I got to the point where I said, I don't understand. Now, I was taught that God is the Almighty. He did all of this. Why do I have to take this class over? They're going to make me. I dropped out of college. I sure did. I didn't want to pay the bills anyway. So I dropped out. I said, I'm done with y'all. I ain't doing this school thing. Well, time went on. I kept saying, God, how you going to make this happen for me? And I was working 2 and 3 jobs, And I guess God needed to see me run first, He said, okay, she can do it. Then overnight, he put me in a position where I was making so much money that I haven't seen working 3 jobs. And I said, how? So I said, okay, she's ready now. And I was like, I'm making more money than some nurses. And I was in school for nursing. I said, wow. I said, God is powerful. But he has to prepare you first. Because sometimes not everything that you want, you may not know how to accept it. It's always being in the right place at the right time. Learning key things of life. Discipline, patience. Okay? God had to take me through those channels first. And once he took me through those channels, he sat me. It was like he picked me up. Y'all see these little cartoon characters or TV shows. You have the person pick them up by the t-shirt and then drop them off somewhere else, with their 2 little fingers, and put them on the other side. That's how it felt, what God did to me. I woke up, broke. Well, not broke because I was working, but, making it. And he took me and said, I'm going to put you over here right now. Bow, drop me off. He said, okay, you're going to be okay now. I want you to learn that. And that's what I did. And I was like, wow. Truth be told, I was like in a daze. But I got up every day, no matter how hard it was. And I went to work every single day. Okay? I didn't care if I felt sick. I said, God, I'm overcoming this. Can you carry me through this? And he would. And I kept working. And it worked for me. It got easier and easier and easier. Okay? When it's when God is moving in your life. Because he will open your eyes to things that you've never seen before. And it'll be done overnight. He'll put you from one place to another. It's like when I moved from Buffalo to Maryland. I was living in the ghettos of Buffalo. And overnight, I moved to the suburbs of Harford County. Overnight. That was a new adventure for me. That was God's. That was God. He needed me to be in a certain place. And God will set these things up for you. But you can't be afraid. Okay? Even though we have these snakes and these people out here, you still can't be afraid. That's when sometimes you have to go to war with them. Okay? Sometimes we just have to go to war. You don't understand why. But if that is God's way of showing them who is on top, or who he wants to show them that I am the Almighty, not you, He will do it. You just have to follow the signs, because snakes always bite their own tails. They talk too much. They do too much. All you got to do is be patient and disciplined and watch. That's it. It's simple. Just pay attention. And the only way to pay attention is by keeping your mind free of nonsense. Staying away from stuff that is irrelevant of life. And focus on you and what's good in life. Pray, meditate, eat right. And that way you'll be able to identify these type of people when they come around. Okay? You'll know, your soul will know before your mind tell you. Okay? These are the things that we have to do in today's time. Because we have more and more devils. And you won't recognize them. I see them every day. Every single day. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. I went into a store. I'm just going to tell you the story about the store. I'm going to tell you what store it is. Because I don't want to slander the whole store, because all of them are not the same. Okay? But this particular store has a bad manager. And I don't like it. I didn't like it. Okay? Bad management is terrible. In retail. Okay? Customer service is terrible. I went in the store and I had to get some baby milk. Now, y'all know people steal a lot. So they keep the baby milk behind the counter. However, I'm Instacart. So in order for me to clear my my orders, I have to have the product so I can scan it. Okay? Now, they didn't think far enough to put, you get the little card. They didn't think far enough. Only people that thought far enough with that was Costco's. Is it Costco's or Sam's Club? They have the actual barcode of the product on the little cards. So that way, if you need to scan it, you can scan it. This particular store has not stepped up to speed yet. And, every store is different. Some are slower than others, to step up to speed on how things can work to benefit not only the customer, but the people around. So there's no barcode on there. And I needed the physical product. So I walked up to customer service. The let them know I'm Instacart. I'm trying to get this particular item, and I can't complete my order to even get online and start him to, start the cashier to start my order until this is done. Because if I do it in line, okay, that's going to hold up the other people. Now, mind you, there's only 2 lines open. One regular line, one 12 item or less, and then it's self-service. Okay, a lot of people don't like to use the self-service. So people pile up on a line. So now they only got one line that's open with these people that's doing major shopping, 12 items or more. So now I'm supposed to get in line and hold up these people, okay, which is y'all customers, because y'all don't want to open up the customer service to do the job that needs to be done, okay? It's bad management. Y'all know I've been in retail for a very long time, so I can see these things where you may not see it, okay? So now, one of the people that I asked, they ran in the office. Well, customer service is closed, so you have to go to your cashier and they'll do it. So wait a minute. Now, my cashier that I had to go to was all the way on the other end. So now this particular cashier got to leave his line when he got all these people in line and walk all the way to customer service and make these people wait. And then now I got to scan it out, make sure it's the right product, and then see if I can close out on my order so I can proceed and he can proceed. This is what you put your customers, you was going to put your customers through. That manager, assistant manager, front end manager, whatever it was, did not think about their customers. Okay? All they cared about what was going on with them. Okay? Then we had 2 people standing doing nothing. I'm looking at this whole scenario. I told you I look at everything around me. I'm watching everything around me at all times. I do this for a reason. So now I walks over to one of the people that ain't doing nothing. And I tell him, I need this product. I'm Instacart. I need this product in order for me to cash out so I won't give the customers and the cashier a long way to go. And you see how the snake was trying to put me in a bad situation and also put the cashier in a bad situation to make the customers believe that we were going to be the fault, was able to switch that up on them. That's why you have to have your third eye open. Because they were trying to set me up and set up the cashier. And there's someone calling me back to back. I'm going to have to end this podcast. And when people call me back to back, that means they really, really want to talk to me. So I got to get off this podcast. I appreciate y'all listening today. Y'all watch out for them snakes. I love you all. I will continue to give y'all all the information that I gain and knowledge that I gain. But I also want y'all to do the research yourselves as well. Because if you don't go through it, you will never know what it is. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.